Hey gang, before the show begins, we want to let you know that Audible is now helping us continue bringing you great content and giving the Byte Club a free audiobook and a 30-day free trial by visiting audibletrial.com/bytethat. This directly helps support the show. You get to choose a free audiobook from over 180,000 titles and get hours of great content at home, at work, or on the road. What is going on? Welcome to episode 195 of Byte, that's weekly wrestling podcast, the place where we talk about the latest happenings inside of the WWE Raw Smackdown Live. We're going to be doing our Super Show for Backlash tonight. Plus, in just a couple of minutes, we will be announcing our road to episode 200 Byte That giveaway. So Ryan's going to be talking about that. Remember, we are available every single Wednesday night on a variety of podcast platforms, I should say, including Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, and tons more. If you want to help support the show, there are many ways you can do so. You can go to bytethat.com. That's where you get a one-time easy access link to make a donation. Through PayPal, you get a shout-out on the show. You go on the Byte That supporters page. You can also become a Patron for as low as $1 a month. You get access to a raw, uncut video version of the show, which includes a nifty pre-show. A lot of times, Keith is the energy drink man, and you get to learn a little bit about his journey, about the great energy drinks and the horrible energy drinks. And you're here, Keith. You're back,
I am.
Welcome.
I am. Energy drink and all. This week is a Rockstar Pure Zero Lemonade. And here's the spoiler. They're all terrible, but I love them anyway.
Thank you for that. My name is Juan Velas. I am from San Juan, Puerto Rico. That man right there was from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And Ryan McNulty from Boston, Massachusetts helps complete the trifecta. And we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to do the giveaway stuff right now, Ryan. Do you feel the energy? Do you feel the power? The New Day's not on SmackDown yet, so we got to feed that energy off of you, who's battling a cold right now. So that's probably a bad idea.
I don't quite feel the power yet, Juan. I would like to be reintroduced as the artist known as the Maharaja.
The artist known as the Maharaja.
Isn't that just Prince at that point?
Prince Iakea.
Yes, actually, that is. Good call. Good call.
I'm just going to introduce you as the Judy Bagwell of Byte That. Ryan McNulty.
I don't appreciate that.
On a pole.
But where's my forklift then? I want my forklift.
We don't have enough money for that one yet.
That's coming soon. Okay, so we are doing a giveaway for episode 200. We are fast approaching. We're only about 5 weeks away now. So we're going to be giving away one $25 Amazon gift card. We'll be announcing that winner on episode 200, which will air on June 21st. So to enter for this gift card, it's simple. You have until June 20th, 11:59 p.m. You have until that time, plenty of time,
midnight,
to write a review for the show on the podcast platform you listen to us on. If you listen to us on Apple Podcast, aka iTunes, you can write it there, or Stitcher, or the other devices. If you listen on YouTube, just find one of those platforms like Stitcher or whatever to do the review. So essentially, write the review. Make sure to let us know to guarantee that you're entered. Just send us an email, send us a tweet to let us know that you did write the review and where you wrote it so that we can verify that. Those of you who have already written us a review, just send us an email, let us know you already did it, and you'll be in. So simple as that. And like I said, we will announce the winner on episode 200.
Episode 200 for that $25 Amazon.com, man. And you get a couple of cool perks by being a gold patron, which we're going to give a shout out to a couple right now, including, what is wrong with me right now? Kevin LaFleur, Bo Segrist, Edward Enright, and Joe Windingland. By becoming a gold patron, those that are already gold patrons get an automatic entry. That's just one of the many perks that you get for supporting us directly each and every week. We love getting your shout outs. We love getting your responses, your reviews. this really is a way that one of you can get a $25 gift card. You also help us reach a brand new audience. You know, whether WWE is good, whether it's terrible, or whether it's awesome, it's always great to have brand new wrestling fans enjoy the show. And with that, we take it to Randy Orton, because Randy Orton's on the news, folks. We're not going to Raw. We're not going to SmackDown yet. There's two Randy Ortons in life right now. There's the champion one. He does the Randy thing. You know, he's the Viper, the Apex Predator. In his veins is Budweiser, whatever it was at WrestleMania. But on social media, that's the real Predator. Because he tweeted this on May 14th.
I appreciated that joke.
Yeah. And the tweet is a picture, but then he writes here, I really need to issue an apology. And I was thinking to myself, man, he did something on a house show, like he beat up somebody. I was really concerned. So I had no context as to why he wrote this. So he wrote as follows. Sorry to the indie marks. Indie guys and old timers who do dives took offense. Just having a good time over a few drinks in Denmark, closing the SmackDown Live tour while beating Raw and making over $5 million in the last 11 shows. Now, I know to some that doesn't equate to a standing room only crowd of 150 people paying $8 at an armory somewhere, but in the big boy world, that's called putting asses in seats. So enjoy your flips, dives, and 20 super kicks per match, to each their own. I will go dive back into my 13th title run and get ready to flip when my bank statement comes this month. ... Headlock. Can that be like the promo of the year? I know that's a tweet. Well, but you can't get much more.
But it kind of
real than hang up tweet of the week, son, because we got nothing beyond that.
Yeah, that would be tweet of the week. But to put in perspective, he retweeted something that whole ... dive controversy. He retweeted, was it like Rip Rogers, who posted the initial tweet, essentially saying that they kind of made this formula of what an indie match is, and saying this whole indie 5-star match, 4-star match quotations is this exact formula. It's like it's every indie match ever. So Randy Orton retweeted that, then probably got some flack for it, and then that's why he tweeted this statement, kind of elaborating on his thoughts.
It's a fascinating thing, though, because we've talked about this, right? Where it seemed for a good while like he's talking about the indie wrestlers, but you could really talk about WWE. You know, how many times have we said, like, guys like Dean Ambrose who do suicide dive seemingly every match? Sasha Banks, that we were concerned that she was going to get killed doing a suicide dive one of these weeks, where after a while, that stuff is cool, but it loses a lot. And Randy Orton, he gets a lot of flack, and we are some of the people that do that. Like, I will gladly include myself in this bunch, where he really doesn't do a lot to me. You know, I was saying that for WrestleMania. I've been saying that, you know, for the last couple of years. I think the last time I really cared about Randy was way back in 2009 with the Triple H, Stephanie, like that rivalry that happened. At the end of the day, he makes a lot of money. SmackDown is beating Raw in a lot of these shows. He's the champion. People react to him. For all the crap you want to give Randy Orton, that headlock thing at the end solidifies the fact that he doesn't need to do a lot more, even though all these guys have to go the extra mile, which a lot of wrestlers spoke out. It's easy for you to say, Randy, considering you're already established, right? But Randy Orton used to do, cross bodies and a lot more stuff consistently. Obviously, he toned that down. But I guess it's the argument where it's the chicken or the egg in some sort of way. Like, you know, what came first? Like this Randy Orton or the Randy Orton of before? Has he changed his mindset? Has he always felt like that? But then back in the day, he felt like he needed to do more to prove himself, which, if so, makes this tweet so questionable, right? Like, why would you do this? Unless you want to rile people up. I mean, if he wants to rile people up, we're doing a podcast talking about this.
Exactly what he was trying to do. I mean, wrestling has different styles, right? Whether you're doing a dive or a headlock or whatever it is, it's all part of making a great show. And some people like some styles more than others. And that's kind of the great thing about wrestling. You can find what you like, and you can kind of you can kind of gravitate towards that and then just kind of be around everything else you might not enjoy as much. That was my big takeaway from it. It was interesting watching. I mostly focused on the feedback thing of like what everybody was saying about this whole thing, and just watching everybody like almost feel the need to defend their style of wrestling. And I found that fascinating. But at the end of the day, it can all live in harmony.
Yeah. Obviously Randy Orton's kind of just stirring the pot. But at the end of the day, sure. Is there an indie match formula that could maybe get repetitive? Yeah, probably. But there's also WWE.
Is there a WWE formula that gets repetitive?
Yeah, they're just as guilty.
Perfect example.
Some people do just as many flips. And when you're somebody who's trying to establish themselves, who's a complete unknown, you're going to have to do a lot more than someone like Randy Orton to get a reaction from the crowd. Randy Orton can just start, acting like he's setting up for the RKO and the crowd will go nuts, but some new guy is going to have to do way more stuff for the crowd to accept him. So it's kind of this situation where you can't really blame these indie guys for doing what they do, because they're just trying to make a name for themselves, and they have to do more.
And ultimately what it comes down to is wrestling is not about that one guy. I don't know about you guys, but I never go to a wrestling show, whether it be an independent one or a WWE one, and just go, I'm going in there for AJ Styles. I want to go there because we don't really have too much time to talk about Breezango now, but I want the comedy tag team. I want the serious guy. I want the high-flying guy. I go in for the experience. So it's really odd to me that Randy's saying that when you have a guy like AJ Styles. Sure, he doesn't wrestle like he did in TNA with the spiral tap and everything, but you have high-flying guys like Finn Balor. Finn Balor, took a huge dive on Raw. That's his thing. Roman Reigns, every now and then, does a dive. So I really do think, like you mentioned, Ryan, it's all about stirring the pot, having a little bit of fun, and even other wrestlers. That's what surprises me. Other wrestlers getting upset at him when they should probably know that he's been in this for a couple years. He knows how to stir that pot very well.
It gets people talking about him. Wrestlers do this all the time. Kevin Nash loves to do things like this.
He invented that.
You get people talking about you.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about Raw and SmackDown Live. So because we have the Backlash predictions, we're going to just be a little bit all over the place because there's a couple of things that are similar in Raw and SmackDown. So when it comes to Raw, remember every single week, Byte That Cast on Twitter, we put up a poll for each show. You let us know what you thought about them. It helps us give a different perspective. It's not just about us, it really is about your interaction. So with Raw, in the patented out of 4 rating scale, this had to be the most even poll we've had. Like from 1 to 4, 1 was at a 26%, 2 was at a 32%, 3 was at a 29%, and 4 was at a 13%. So it was all over the place this week. People just did not know how to feel about Raw, and for good reason. There's the Braun Strowman thing, which we'll get to in a couple of seconds. When we go to SmackDown, 3 out of 4, the majority 52%, so need not much be said about that. SmackDown I definitely think was a very solid show. We'll get to a couple of questionable things there at the last second, because we are going to talk about our hype level for Backlash in just a little bit. I do want to bring it back to Braun Strowman. So before Raw, it was said that he was going to be out of action for about 6 weeks. We brought that up last week, right? It was like, 4 to 6 weeks, not going to be a big deal. It went from 6 weeks to 6 months. And then there were reports going, hey, no, he's not going to be out for 6 months. That's the WWE exaggerating. He's going to be out for 6 weeks. So then there were tweets and pictures from Braun showing he was getting surgery, which then people are saying that's fabricated. It's really not that bad. So regardless of what's happening, what matters is that for the time being, Strowman is completely out of the picture. Keith, you weren't here last week, so I'd like to give you this floor since we didn't get your perspective. How do you feel about the monster among men? I said it right this time. Being very much a human being.
I'm so sad about that. Braun Strowman was easily my favorite part of Raw, and just to have and he had all the momentum in the world going for him, just to have that carpet ripped out from under him is a giant bummer, but I think Braun Strowman is going to have the same effect as Finn Balor in a lot of ways, where in the grand scheme of things, this won't matter all that much. And you could definitely feel it this week, the impact of Braun Strowman going away. It was a very damage control feeling raw, and I'm gonna miss Braun Strowman. I'm gonna miss him. I want my big monster among men back.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. 6 months. I really hope that's just overestimating so that they can surprise people when he comes back early. I really hope that's the case, because even though you have a show that's stacked with guys like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman was the highlight of Raw for several weeks and had all the momentum in the world, and it really feels like anytime they strap the rocket on a new guy, he gets hurt or something. You know, WWE's been kind of jinxed with that lately. I kind of disagree with Keith. I really do feel like what happened to Finn Balor really did affect him, because he was going to be freaking Universal Champion for however long, and now he's kind of come back, and
he'll get back there.
Yeah. I mean, he will get back there, but, you know, who knows how that affected his path going forward.
The biggest challenge is that us as wrestling fans, and this is how I'm feeling right now, you get paranoid. Because it seems like whenever we get excited for anything now, that person gets injured. And then we got to worry about how are they going to fix this? How are they going to do this? And then the story goes, man, when that guy gets back, it's going to be amazing. But it's happening so often now. Damn near the whole roster, from Rollins to Daniel Bryan at some point, to Finn Balor, now Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns at some point. You know, Kofi Kingston's currently out of action. You can add Emma to that list. We are in that next phase.
Emma really got screwed.
Yeah. We didn't get a chance to talk about that last week. It's like she just came back after this long period of Emelina to like Emma to then out of action again. How do you come back from that from a character standpoint?
She's like the Mark Henry of the like 2000s era, where Mark Henry would just like get hurt, come back, get hurt again.
It's such a weird thing. Wrestling is so weird in that way, where if somebody gets hurt, yes, you want them, they need to be out of action and like get the proper surgery, heal properly, but at the same time you're sad about it. And it's a good and a bad thing that happens, because like back in the day, Braun Strowman might have just worked through that injury and then just had permanent damage in the long run, like in the early and late 90s. But now if something like that happens, it's immediately boom on the shelf, get healed. Or go get healed. It's wrestling's in a weird spot with that, and I don't know if there's a good answer.
Do we know if the ambulance itself, that whole ambulance spot, was where he actually got hurt? Or was it just like wear and tear? I'm not sure.
I haven't really read anything more about that. If you notice, I guess because he's the monster among men, maybe they want to be a little bit more quiet about how it is that it happened. I do like
but
that
hey,
at least
he
they
hit an ambulance
him.
door and took it out.
Yeah.
Because, I don't think it's a coincidence when someone starts to get a really big push and then they get hurt, is because they start working harder. They have more responsibilities. They're probably getting less sleep. So a lot of these things can add up and make you more prone to getting an injury in the ring or whatever. So maybe, something like that could have been the case with Braun Strowman. Either way, it's just...
Just in case, just to clarify, Ryan, you are aware he got support probably to lift that ambulance. Like 99.9% sure he didn't actually.
No,
lift
I'm not talking about him lifting the ambulance. I'm talking about when he
took it out.
The ambulance door, and then when Roman was smashing it on his shoulder. That's what I'm talking.
Just in case, because there's probably a couple of people that were yelling at you like, Ryan, you got to be kidding me. So no, we're all on the same page here, but it's so unfortunate. That being said, it did leave a new opportunity for some. We're going to have a fatal 5-way match at Extreme Rules with Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Samoa Joe. This is a tough spot for me because I'm not really excited for this. Then again, is this really WWE's problem? This is the best they had to do. Like, this really is a really tough situation. It's not like this is what they were originally intended on doing, but the hand was forced upon them, right? So it just feels weird. Like in this situation where the champion's not even in the picture, usually a champion will say like, haha, you got injured, so like I don't need to wrestle you. But because we don't even have the champion acknowledging anything that's happening, it's just like, well, I guess here's the 5 guys, and the champion at some point will hopefully care and show up. How do you guys feel about the Fatal 5-Way?
This match is damage control in its purest form. Like, hey, who's our main event? Okay, let's throw them all together, put them in a multi-man match. We'll figure out who's going towards Brock next time. And then, but at the same time, this could be a pretty cool match. You've got the top guys on Raw in an Extreme Rules match. There could be some big shenanigans that happen in there, and I'm kind of excited for it.
My question is, what the hell is the rest of the card going to look like when you have basically everybody in this match?
Dean Ambrose and The Miz are going to put on a clinic.
That's true. That's true. I mean, Raw is so ridiculously stacked that they can do this match and still have plenty of stuff to fill the card out with. I mean, I like that even though Brock Lesnar is not around, that at least we can go into Extreme Rules and say, hey, whoever wins this match is at least going to be fighting for the title. So the WWE, the Universal Championship, rather, is still part of the focus at Extreme Rules without having to pay Brock Lesnar to show up. So I'll take it. I'll take it for what it is. Because, you know, we all were cool with Brock Lesnar's first title reign since coming back, where he was away for a while. I think we all put up with it. But it seems like everybody is a lot less patient about this time around with Brock Lesnar, because you really do feel it when the championship is not there. That being said, I mean, they pretty much stacked this match with everyone you could think of that really belongs to be in there. I just, you know, I don't want to throw predictions out too early, but just let Reigns win and let's get this over with.
Oh, man. That was kind of going to be my question. Like, we've already seen Brock, you know, interact with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, kind of in some ways. But, you know, Samoa Joe and Balor, I guess, are the only 2 really new options. Obviously, it's not going to be Joe. So the only guy that leaves is Balor. So, Keith, like, are you in the same boat with Ryan, where it's just like, if Reigns is going to beat him, just get it over with? Or would you like to see somebody else? Like, which match will you want to see? Regardless of storyline, match. Bell rings. Who's on the opposite side of the ring to Brock Lesnar?
Honestly, I'm with Ryan on that one. And it's Roman Reigns, because it's hard not to talk about it from a story's perspective, because we all know how this ends. Whether it's at Great Balls of Fire or somewhere else, we know that there's only one person on the roster that's going to beat Brock Lesnar eventually. And there's no question about it. So just let it happen. Let's get it over with. Let's move on to everything else, because especially with Braun Strowman gone, everything on Raw is really at a standstill until that happens. All points go towards that. So let's just get it over with.
Seriously, folks. Like, I think one thing that affects WWE greatly is that they feel the need that every big payoff has to be at WrestleMania, right? Can't Great Balls of Fire, can't that get something big happening? Can't we just put Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, right? They love giving away matches all the freaking time. Let's give this one away. It's already main evented a WrestleMania before, right? Let's get this over with. Otherwise, we are stuck in this predetermined destiny. And I know wrestling predetermined, haha. But we're stuck in this predetermined destiny all the way for a year until WrestleMania, waiting for this match to happen. It just locks up the entire show for a year. Instead, just give it to Reigns, man. Just let him do it right away so that we can all move on.
It's kind of like when CM Punk was champion and The Rock, you know, everybody was just waiting for that to happen.
It's exactly like that. And there are casualties along the way, because you can't have Roman. You either have Roman go off the camera, kind of like what they did during the Strowman feud, or you have Roman run through the roster over and over again this entire time to make him credible towards Brock. So there's no real good answer to this. So just let's move on.
He beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He's plenty credible at this point, you know? Just let him beat Lesnar.
between now and WrestleMania, let's say they're saving this match to WrestleMania, if they don't keep Roman like just running through the roster, come like Battleground, Survivor Series time, that goes away. That Undertaker credibility goes away. I
know, that's why it's like they should really just capitalize on it now. The Undertaker victory is real fresh. It's perfect. It's all there, but you know they're not going to do it. Someone like Balor is probably going to win, get squashed at Great Balls of Fire, and then we got to act like Roman Reigns, the big dog, is the underdog to overcome the odds all the way to WrestleMania.
So the only man more credible than Roman Reigns is Justin. Let's talk about Goldust. So in the oddest, most unexpected thing, we had just talked about this. It's part of it. We talked about this last week. Like, Golden Truth, man, they're back on track. Before a match, props to WWE. It's not often before anything actually happens. Goldust just got pissed off, laid R-Truth out, and then said, that's what's up. So it's nice to see these young two up-and-comers, finally get this opportunity to have this rivalry that can unfold. I don't even know, like, where is this going? Like, a feud between these two, but then is this where they just...
Do you realize how many people are in the main event of Extreme Rules?
They need to matches for Extreme Rules in a desperate way.
So what you guys are saying is Iron Man match, Inferno on a pole between these two guys.
Do you remember the Hollywood backlot brawl between Goldust and Rowdy Piper?
Oh my goodness.
I think it's time for a comeback.
That's probably going to happen. Hey, it's Extreme Rules, so that totally makes sense for that.
The Chicago backlot brawl.
So how do you guys react to this? It's just so damn unexpected.
I appreciated it. It was very unexpected because they were basically doing the Rhino Heath Slater-ish type of storyline over again with Raw, where it's like, hey, we're kind of this underdog tag team, even though they've been together for quite a while now. And you thought like, hey, it's going to be this feel-good win when they eventually take the tag titles from whoever when it's time. So they kind of got you buying into that, and they did a very good job of it. And all of a sudden, Gold just betrays R-Truth, and now we're in a totally different storyline. I like it, because you got to think, Goldust, I mean, this guy has been around for so long. He's a great talent, and he's really been underutilized for many years now. This could be his last hurrah, and maybe they want to go out with... maybe this could be his last year. They want to kind of have him be a single star and just kind of have a good last hurrah.
Yeah, throughout this whole thing, looking at the rest of the Raw tag division, it was very hard to imagine the Golden Truth, A, getting the titles, B, keeping them for any, decent amount of time. So this really is the best way to create just anything out of that feud. And you know what? Like you mentioned, they've been around a real long time. They have some good matches under their belt. There's no reason why they can't make something special out of this.
You know what what immediately came to my head is something between Bray Wyatt and Goldust eventually. We know Bray Wyatt's not going to get the championship. He's not going to get anything.
Will it be the return of Black Reign? Or
boy.
7?
Dude, 7.
Bring back 7.
Bring back that entrance. We got Shawn Michaels from the Rasters. We got 7 from the entrance, and then seemingly being forgotten about. But
and then doing a worked shoot promo.
Yes. But really, think about this. The possibility that Bray Wyatt's probably going to be turned into a good guy or something very soon. It's going to happen the same way it happened with AJ Styles. Goldust, when he wants to be a villain, he's so damn good at that. And that's where the character has excelled, right? He's great at the comedy stuff, but this gives Bray Wyatt a chance to... Everybody, if you're standing and walking, please sit down. Sit down. Bray Wyatt could walk out of a storyline victorious. Just think about that. Bray Wyatt
I still don't
being
believe
in a storyline.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Goldust still wins?
I made a commitment to never believe in Bray Wyatt anymore.
So that's why Goldust went, what? Okay, we got to do this. We're doing this now.
If it's Goldust versus Bray Wyatt at a pay-per-view, I'm picking Goldust.
Even then, poor
Bray
can't catch a break.
I would too.
It's probably the one time I go with Bray.
I committed to never picking Bray Wyatt at a pay-per-view prediction ever. And I think I'm pretty safe at Extreme Rules. It's pretty safe to say he's not going to win that Fatal 5-Way. So I know I'm set for at least 1 month.
Exactly. You're good to go. So I guess in similar topics, we're going to talk a little bit about Erick Rowan. So talking smack, this is something that he had been doing in house shows and live events where he's coming out with the sheep mask, but it's kind of like Jokerized. It's got this clown thing with a balloon. Keith, did you have a chance to watch this?
I have not seen Talking Smack, but it's what happens when you give animals GMOs. I saw a meme of that the other day.
Oh, really?
It made me laugh.
Okay, well, today I learned a little something.
I got a chuckle.
So what happened is that he brought a little gift to Talking Smack. You tried.
All right.
But he brought a little gift to Talking Smack. He brought out the mask, put it on, and then he gave a balloon to Renee Young. He blew it up in her face and then proceeded to laugh. And that was it. And honestly, that is all that needed to be done. I was happy with this, man. It's like in the land where Luke Harper, they're gonna wrestle. Luke Harper and Erick Rowan, they're gonna do wrestling stuff at Backlash. But in a world where we don't know who Luke Harper is as a character, it's nice to see that at least they're doing something with Erick Rowan. I still don't know what, but I like this basically modern day doink they could actually be doing. He's a big guy. He can look like a threat. Cover up that face, put some clown stuff on. You can make some money off of that.
He's surprisingly very convincing in that role. You assumed that Erick Rowan was this guy. He was quiet, like he was a horrible promo or something like that. But he's really committed to that character of just being this strange dude in a sheep mask who's just doing weird things. And his storyline with Harper makes sense. He's finally wanting to get revenge for Harper leaving the family.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're doing something with him. And that's kind of the theme of SmackDown these days. Hey, they're actually doing something with whoever. And I hope it pans out for him, because there is, especially if this shines a spotlight on both Luke Harper and Erick Rowan, it's good to see them actually have something to do.
Yeah, I'm super happy about this, man. If there's anything that we've learned about Talking Smack and SmackDown Live is that give it a shot. Give it a shot. If it fails, it failed. But they turned the show that everybody thought was going to be the B show because Raw had everybody into the A show for me. It's still the better show. We can talk about this a little bit of a negativity coming up once we talk about Backlash. But at its worst, SmackDown is still far better than Raw, in my opinion.
I have a quick question. I haven't seen Talking Smack in a few weeks. How is it?
It's all right. I think it's had some good stuff. I definitely don't feel the same vibe. Obviously Daniel Bryan right now is out of action because, well, he's a daddy now.
It is not the same at all without Daniel Bryan. Yeah. It's still enjoyable, but Daniel Bryan makes it, like, the interactions between him and Renee Young, they have a great chemistry, and Daniel Bryan just doesn't give a damn and says whatever he wants. So without Daniel Bryan, it is missing a lot, but it's still worth watching.
It's still probably the best non-main WWE show they have going on to further develop storylines, if that says anything.
100%.
So then in a quick back-to-back quick-fire thing, we got two things happening this weekend. So first up on Friday, WWE is going to have a WWE UK special. So not a tournament. This is something they recorded a couple of weeks back. There was like this whole thing with like lawn chairs or whatever the hell they were. People were complaining about. This is a pre-recorded event that's going to begin airing this Friday on the network. So it's going to have Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Wolfgang, all of these awesome people that participated in the UK tournament. So, we really don't have a lot to say, honestly, because we really haven't been keeping up. Tyler Bate has showed up on NXT a couple times. Ryan and I got to see Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne in a really solid match at Access. That was way too good for Access, right? Can we agree that was far better than it should have been?
No, that actually, when I saw the match, I was like, man, I should actually start paying attention to this UK stuff, because we were watching a couple matches before that, and there were a lot of these kind of NXT guys who were like it's like Patrick Clark, who I don't even know how much NXT stuff he's actually done at this point. And then you see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate have a match, and you're just like, whoa, okay, these guys are amazing. So I should be paying attention to it more. And I know that women's tournament thing's coming up. I'm going to watch the women's tournament. Okay, I know I skipped out on the other two tournaments. I'm going to watch the women's tournament.
You want to make a bet out of that?
I'm committing to it.
So right after Keith's Lucha Underground review, we'll be getting to Ryan talking about the women's tournament.
Which is coming soon. I'm almost caught up.
At this point, make it an episode 200 thing. Let's make it extra bigger. Talk about Lucha Underground, episode 200 now. This is, oh my God. Wow. I just really hit my elbow. I got too excited for that, Keith. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Okay.
My elbow.
I can do that. Let's make that happen. I was going to say like next week, but let's do Lucha Underground episode 200. But yeah, I'm with Ryan in that I haven't really been keeping up with the UK stuff, but I know I need to, so I'm definitely going to be checking this out, and hopefully this is going to be a bit of a launching point for myself to keep in touch with it.
Yeah, so even if we don't have like a lengthy review or talk about it that much, we'll do our best to at least cover it on some form on next week's podcast. And then the night after, we do have NXT Takeover Chicago. So I'm just going to read down the match card really quickly, and then I have a pretty cool announcement. So happening there will be a WWE UK title match. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Pete Dunne taking on Tyler Bate. It's going to be a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship when Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross, Keith's lovable crush, are part of a triple threat against Asuka, who will seemingly never lose. And then we have a NXT Tag Team title ladder match between DIY and the Authors of Pain. That match I'm looking forward to. Like that dynamic, David Goliath in a ladder match. That has some really good potential.
Could be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either Tommaso Ciampa or Johnny Gargano are going out on a stretcher in that match.
Yeah.
There's no other way that
happens. And then the NXT title match, Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode. So, every now and then they like to put a little something else. But for now, these are the confirmed matches. Something else may come up. I do have a pretty cool announcement. If all goes according to plan, Saturday, I should say, after TakeOver, I will be doing a collaborative review with OKFabe on YouTube. So OKFabe is a great podcaster from Boston as well. So something about Boston. There's a lot of awesome people there, New Age Insiders, a couple of people there. So I got to go to Boston. I haven't been there in a couple of years, but I will be doing a collaborative review. So on his YouTube channel and ours, if all goes according to plan, because we've never done this before, you will be getting a dual review as we talk about that. Now, just a quick question. Are you guys planning on watching TakeOver that night at some point later? How do you feel about that?
If all goes according to my personal plan, I will be checking out that takeover that night. I always make an effort to never miss the takeovers, and I'll check this one out. It seems like a real stacked card. On paper, it sounds really good, so I'm pretty excited for it just to see what they throw in.
I'm probably not going to be able to watch it Saturday night, but because we got Backlash on Sunday, I'm going to try and make an effort to watch it before Backlash. That either Sunday morning or right before Backlash.
There's a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Yeah. I might even be going to an indie show on Friday. So tons of wrestling.
Nice. That's awesome, man. And that review, by the way, will also be available on our SoundCloud. So that's soundcloud.com/ByteThatCast. We're also putting up the podcast there, so you can follow directly. It's another way to listen.
That's all the things that are happening this week, in the future. Let's move back to the past for a minute and talk about the greatest thing on the network that was released earlier this week, and that is the WWE 24 with Finn Balor. They knocked it out of the park again, folks. Holy crap, that 24 is so good. 24 is so good at just creating emotion around a superstar or an event in the case of the WrestleMania ones. And good God, do they do it with this 24 on Finn. I loved it so much.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch all of it. I watched half of it because then, we started doing the podcast. And what else can you say? Like, the editing style of this series is so damn good. In a day where the editing is always like quick fire, like edit as much stuff, pack in as many graphics, 24 takes it back. It really lets you soak in the emotion. It truly is not about the conclusion, but the journey. You know, when Finn Balor gets injured,
is
exactly
all over that thing.
They do an excellent job of trying to get you to understand. Obviously, it'll never be 1-to-1, but to get you to understand how Finn Balor felt, like the emotion. Triple H getting emotional, you know, when Finn Balor got injured, and then Sami Zayn, like you get to see not the superstar, but the friends, like just asking, hey man, can I get you some food just after it happened? It's an exceptional thing. Ryan, I know you haven't had a chance to check it out. Even if we don't cover it on the show, it's so damn good. It sucks that whenever an injury happens, there is a positive in a weird way where we can kind of get
They get a 24.
Don't do it with Braun, though. That'll kill the monster among men. Like, don't do it with Braun. Keep him hitting.
Seriously, I think I'll definitely have to watch it because of the 24s I've seen, they are very good. But no, I completely agree. Don't give one to Braun, because seeing those network specials and all that, that's a real thing for kind of making you not like buy into a character as much if you see who they are behind the scenes. I think one of the reasons Brock Lesnar is so freaking effective is because Brock Lesnar's in-ring character is completely believable to who he is in real life. And you buy into that on both ways. Like, you believe Brock Lesnar is what he is. And we need to protect that with Braun Strowman.
But I'm not going to lie. This, as great as this 24 is, and it's easily the best thing on the network, it made me afraid for the WrestleMania 24 that's coming up. Because I'm probably going to bawl my eyes out whenever that happens.
Oh my goodness.
Like the
Imagine.
Undertaker stuff?
Yeah.
Or just like the whole journey to WrestleMania and being there. And I'll probably cry a lot.
You know, I would love to watch that, like the three of us together. That'd be really cool, because there's like a personal
No, because
attachment
I don't want
to
to cry around you.
Screw it, man. I'll cry with you. And then Ryan can just
Okay.
record us and then tweet about it or something. But we're going to do Backlash predictions, and that's going to be happening right now. But what happens after the podcast? Say you want to listen to a little something. As we mentioned at the top of the show, Audible has now teamed up with the Byte Club to give you a free audiobook and a 30-day free trial. Like, just before we hit the record button, Keith was actually talking about possibly starting to listen to some audiobooks. So one that we can recommend to you that you can get for free as part of that trial is Dana Bryan's book, which is called Yes, My Improbable Journey to the Main Event of WrestleMania. I actually did a review of that book basically when it came out. And even though I got an autographed copy, by the time the copy arrived, I had already listened to it because I got it as part of my trial to Audible. And that's narrated by him, which is like a whole nother level, right? Like, you get to hear the person that is telling the story. So if you want to get access to that 30-day free trial and a free audiobook, just go to audibletrial.com/Byte that. Get a free audiobook and also help support Byte that. And with that now, go to Backlash. Backlash is happening this Sunday if all goes according to plan. Not only will you be getting an NXT Takeover review with OKFabe and myself, but Mr. McNulty, Review Master Man himself, will be doing a review of Backlash unless his laptop is set on fire.
Is that what RMM stands for? Review Master Man?
Wow, that was not even intentional. That is totally not a cool nickname.
It could be, yeah. I'll be doing my review of Backlash, so that'll be up Sunday night. So look out for that.
Also on SoundCloud, the YouTube channel, and VidMe. So once we get to that second milestone, it'll be more accessible to the world. So let's not talk for any more longer words. Ty Dillinger,
like that.
8 in English.
Well, we have to talk a little
match.
bit longer to give our Backlash predictions.
Well, yeah, I kind of
Let's
got
not waste any more
now.
time is probably what you wanted to say.
I was trying to figure out an elaborate way of saying that, but you've already said it, which is technically taking even more time than me just having said that. And me
Am
saying
I
this
taking
right
more
now.
time or you? Backlash predictions.
Backlash, kickoff. Ty Dillinger, the
Backlash?
perfect 10 is the perfect pre-show superstar, taking on the drama king, Aiden English, who's savoring. He's now enjoying that character he had in NXT before he got teamed up with Simon Gotch. He looks to improve his winning streak. And, that's basically it. This is kind of a lukewarm thing happening. I guess testing out Ty Dillinger. Who do you think is going to win? Let's do Ryan, Keith, myself.
Ty Dillinger is going to win. I didn't even know this was a match until now, but Ty Dillinger.
Yep. Ty Dillinger's probably going to win.
10. Luke Harper, Erick Rowan. Let's get to the actual matches now. We got possibly the clown man, Erick Rowan, taking on Luke Harper. There's no real stipulation. This was announced at Talking Smack. Now, Erick Rowan already got a pinfall victory on Luke Harper a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown Live. So if theory or if history leads us to believe that the opposite will happen, then Luke Harper should come out victorious. Do you agree with that, or do you see the opposite happening?
Yeah, I really want to see Luke Harper win this one, and I think he will win this. It's kind of sad that they really cooled off on him, because before the shakeup, he was kind of going in with a ton of momentum, and then that all really fell apart, and he's just kind of been forgotten about. So we need to have a bounce back for Luke Harper, so I'm hoping he wins here.
I agree. We need to see something big out of Luke Harper, considering that Bray Wyatt's now on Raw. This is the big opportunity for him to become his own person. And as much as we like Rowan right now, I don't think he ranks above Harper. I want to see things out of Rowan, but I want to see more out of Harper. And for that, I hope that Luke Harper wins this match.
I'm actually going to go with Erick Rowan again. I am so upset that this is happening. Luke Harper is in arguably the best shape of his WWE career. The man he's big, but he wrestles like he's almost Dolph Ziggler level, from like the super kicks to, and I mean that in the best way possible, right? But they got to change something. Like, him being a good wrestler that's in better shape is not enough to justify a push for him. So I got to go with Erick Rowan. So this is an interesting match. We have Baron Corbin taking on Sami Zayn. So Baron Corbin, he's tried his best to become number one contender. He was at the Elimination Chamber match, and then Sami Zayn, we're still trying to figure out where he really fits on SmackDown, right? Like, he's got a newfound character, and him being himself just dialed up to 100, which is super nice. But in a match like this, I don't see any way that Sami actually wins. So do you guys see otherwise?
Yeah, unfortunately, Sami Zayn is always going to be that guy who kind of has to lose to build somebody else up. But I love Sami Zayn. I'm expecting Baron Corbin to win here. The thing is SmackDown's kind of in a weird spot with Kevin Owens as the U.S. champion and AJ Styles going for the title. It kind of takes away the spot that, like, Corbin and Zayn would be a great feud for the United States Championship. Yeah. But you got main event guys feuding for the U.S. title, so it's kind of clouding up that spot of where those guys could actually fit well.
Just think about that, though. You have two storylines. Like, the top two matches could both be for the championship. Like, Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. A lot of people could easily say bump that down and then have AJ and
that
Owens
could end up ending
the
show, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised. But going back to this match, Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not very hot on this match just because it kind of feels like the exact same thing that Sami's done over and over again. Hey, this is Sami Zayn going up against the big guys, getting his ass whooped for week in, week out. And I guess Sami's going to die in the ring versus Baron Corbin, which will probably it'll be a very atypical Sami Zayn match where the referee will probably check on him once or twice during it. And Corbin probably ends up with the win because I think in a post Backlash world, Baron Corbin might be in the WWE title picture. Where
in
Sami
a post
Zayn,
Backlash world.
In a world where Baron Corbin is number one contender.
Let's go!
We see Sami Zayn nowhere.
Which leads us to perhaps the match I am looking forward to the most. Tag Team Championship. The Usos defend against Breezango. You weren't here last week, Keith, so before we get to the predictions, talk to me about the Fashion Files. How are you feeling, man? It's a weekly thing. It's probably going to end after this, which is fine. I think it's It's lasted the exact amount of time it needs to last in order to build up this match. How do you feel about it?
The Fashion Files are funny. I think the easy comparison would be to like Total Bella's BS and like that kind of skit, and I think it's better than that. I got a good laugh out of the Vince McMahon mugshot in the background of that segment this week. But while that's good, that's nowhere near the best part of this feud. Holy crap, the Usos are incredible right now.
Yeah.
I am in absolute love with the Usos, and to that, the Fashion File kind of takes a back seat for me.
Yeah, either of these teams could win and I would be happy. So I'm going to go with Breezango to get a shock win for this one, because I feel like these are guys who need to be going back and forth for the title, because they're both really good and they're both really entertaining. So this feud, they could draw this out a lot longer and I'd be totally okay with that. The Usos are great. On the mic right now, it's awesome. Like, who knew they had it in them? You know, they've just been killing it every single time. So the Fashion Files are really funny, but I could also see how after a while they might kind of run out of steam. So they need to transition this into good in-ring promos. They're really good at the backstage skits. Let's see what they can do with in-ring promos, if they can kind of replicate something like the New Day has done with having the super entertaining in-ring promos as well. Because they need to keep Breezango as a great act, because them versus the New Day has the power to be gold.
Has the power of positivity behind it, one might be.
But yes, Breezango gets the big win.
I have to disagree with that, and I hope the Usos end up winning this match, because while the Breezango, because at the end of this match, like, this match is centered around what's on the horizon, and that's the New Day. Eventually the New Day is going to show up, and whoever's champion is going to be, or the New Day is going to face them. And I would personally much rather see the Usos in that spot. They're a good, like, hey, the New Day is this, like, funny, fun group, and the Usos are all serious. It's game time. Day one is day one-ish.
Such a good line.
I would much rather that. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm in love with the Usos right now. They are on fire as far as I'm concerned, and I hope they keep the titles on them for a while.
Just think about how we were feeling about the tag team division on SmackDown a month ago compared to now. You have two viable tag teams like Babyface and Villains that have both had a character, you know, not like American Alpha. We get it, you're good in the ring. There is no substance, though, long term. Breezango, they're entertaining as hell. They're giving us different type of segments, not just in-ring promos, and they can deliver in the ring. And the Usos, Keith, like, you talking about them is an understatement about how damn good they are. It takes skill.
They don't sound scripted, which is huge.
And it takes skill to... They're just on the border of overdoing it. Like, they are so into it. You know, like, at one point I was watching SmackDown last night, and it's kind of funny. Like, they're talking to Breezango, but Breezango are just in the ring, and these guys are just railing them, like, just yelling so hard at them directly.
You could, like, see the fear in Breezango's eyes, and I loved that.
And it's rare, because in any other way, people would be like, wow, that is so over the top. But the delivery was so well done that...
Yeah. Like, if the Usos pulled out a knife on Breezango, I wouldn't be surprised.
Dude, and not just that. It takes skill. Like, Breezango are in the category of, and I guess, you know, this is not that great, like Golden Truth. They're in the comedy, haha, I'm funny tag team. But the Usos are taking them completely serious. Like, the way they cut the promos, it's like, you guys are challenging us for our championships, and we're going to beat you. It's not like, ha ha, you know, this is not even a thing, and then you're going to get an upset victory, which is so rare, let alone in the tag team division. That's rare in the whole WWE nowadays. So that's why I'm looking forward to this so much.
They'll brush somebody off like they're not a threat, but at least they're respecting that of them. And we can't get wrong the fact that, hey, the New Day shows that you can be a comedy tag team that you're taken seriously in the ring as well.
Yeah, they opened up the possibility.
Yeah, exactly. They can hit that sweet spot, and they definitely, both of them have the talent to do so. So yeah, I mean, the SmackDown tag division for a long time was clearly the weakest point. So we're really starting to build two teams up here, and hopefully some other teams eventually can get into the mix and it will feel like more of a division.
Yeah, so that being said, I'm going to hate saying this, but the Usos win. Said by the guy that, I mean, I love Johnny Curtis, I love Fandango, I love Tyler Breeze, I love everything that they're doing.
That's not paranoia, Juan.
Pick with your brain, not your heart.
Oh,
That's the
sorry.
Usos.
I'm sorry, Fandango. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
I know, I can't believe I'm the one picking.
Right?
I'm the one picking Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
This is bizarre.
Johnny Curtis.
Wrong. WRONG. Wrong.
So we go from WRONG to FABOLOUS. Wait, did I do it right? I think I did.
I don't know. Like, every time Elzor says it to introduce her, I'm like, is he spelling it right? I'm not sure.
So hopefully I got it right. Let me know in the tweets or something. But six female tag team match. So Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch taking on Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina. So Naomi's not defending. You know, we do have the welcoming committee. I just want to take over a little bit and just say that it's weird. Like, this is so weird. And I'm not saying like weird in a bad way. I'm just saying that anything that reminds me of what Team Bad and the submission sorority and all that stuff, it gives me bad flashbacks. Like, I get, Ryan, triggered. I get triggered almost because I want to be as far away from these gang warfare battles involving women because they can do so much, especially on SmackDown. They don't need this. They really don't need this, especially when you got Charlotte, Becky, Naomi. You don't need to unite them. Just let them be themselves.
Well, I like this. So I have a bit of a different opinion. I think that the SmackDown women's division, since the beginning of the brand split, I think the SmackDown women's division has been built masterfully. And this is it was totally an unexpected turn with this welcoming committee versus, the babyface team. Like, it was not the direction I thought they were going to go when Charlotte went to SmackDown. But I like it because the second you got a few new people, they made sure everybody in the division was doing something in the shakeup to see where everybody stands. You're keeping everybody relevant, and you feel like before, any one of these women is a potential contender for the title. And that's what SmackDown does so well with the women. So I really like this. They didn't go right to the easy storyline of Charlotte wins the title, does the exact same thing she did on Raw. No, they went a different direction. And I appreciate that. I think if they want the welcoming committee to be a thing, then they probably should win. And that, Charlotte doesn't get along with, Charlotte is still kind of being a heel. So the team could blow up from there. So I'm going to go with the welcoming committee winning.
See, to make you the cream inside of an Oreo here, I'm kind of with Juan, where I'm not a big fan of this. This does remind me a lot of the whole initial Divas Revolution, where it was team on team on team. And I'm kind of over that. I would much rather see everybody against Charlotte in this because I'm still not 100% sold on the idea of, oh, hey, Naomi and Charlotte are friends, but it's eventually going to lead to something bad. Or, Becky Lynch has been here before with Charlotte. Charlotte has stabbed her in the back, but now they're cool, I guess. Like, the enemy of your enemy is my friend. We'll work together for now. So from that point, I'm not a big fan. What I think could really make this match something great, and this is 100% my opinion, is that the welcoming committee wins by somebody turning heel. Like, if either Becky or Naomi turn on Charlotte in that match and it causes them to lose, I think that would be pretty great. And then slowly kind of working towards that everybody versus Charlotte angle of it. And I hope that happens. So by that, the welcoming committee wins.
I really like that. Because you avoid the thing of, what then? You just go back to Charlotte being the queen, and then Becky being the former BFF, even though on social media they're hanging out every single day. And it just leaves Naomi nowhere. So I think that either what's probably going to happen is that the welcoming committee is going to pin Becky Lynch, and then she's going to become irate or something. Or, like you mentioned, somebody's got to turn on somebody from the babyface side, because otherwise it's like cool, but I'm not really feeling it too much. So now we go to Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. So it's been kind of cool, right? Even though these two guys had a dark match in one of the SmackDown events.
You mean the artist Shinsuke Nakamura?
Sorry, yes. The king of the artist style. Shinsuke Nakamura taking off Dolph Ziggler.
I like that one.
Wow, that should be a thing. Somebody's got to make that hybrid shirt a thing.
No, it shouldn't.
The king of the artist style. What is that? Oh, you don't want to know, man. The artist does so many things you don't want to know. But I just don't care about Dolph Ziggler. I think that this is the complete opposite of what I wanted WWE to do with Dolph Ziggler. And this is not in the smarky, oh, you know better. It's like they went the cheapest way with Dolph Ziggler. And hey, the people are reacting to Nakamura, so maybe I'm wrong. But I hate this whole, like, what has Nakamura done? Nothing. The fans, I don't need the fans. Like, he's like low-rate Bubba Ray Dudley.
To butt in for a second, I got a very good laugh out of that video package that Dolph Ziggler showed. Like, oh, these are all the things I've done in the WWE. Because I couldn't help thinking to myself, okay, now fast forward a week later, and where were you, Dolph Ziggler? Oh, that time you cashed in the Money in the Bank and immediately lost to Jack Swagger? Oh, that time you won the World Heavyweight Champion and then lost it the same night. Right, all of these things, Dolph. They sure look impressive in a video package.
First world title.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those great moments. So Nakamura's winning. We don't even need to talk about that, right?
Yeah, Nakamura's winning. Ziggler continues. Like, Ziggler needs to go away for a while. He's been around too long. He's, like, I don't want. I've said it a billion times, but he really should have just
beating a dead horse.
Yeah, he should have quit, like, in the Miz feud. Seriously, because it's just been. It's been rough. Yeah, seriously. If he has any respect for himself, he will leave. He can build himself back up on the indies or whatever, or go into acting. It's just, they're not, like, he's been passed over. Nothing's going to happen with Ziggler. He might as well just leave.
His bank account's probably saying otherwise, though. But aside from that.
Okay, yeah. If I saw his paycheck, I'm sure I'd be like, okay, I get it.
I know my role here.
But the results of this match, or Dolph Ziggler really, aren't the stories of this match. This is Shinsuke Nakamura's first match. They have been building him up to the damn moon. Will this match live up to those expectations?
Yeah, he better deliver.
And that is the big question mark here that I don't even know if they can hit. Even if they have like this great 5-star match, which I'm sure the match will be good. It's going to be a good match. Probably not great, but a good match. I don't know if they can live up to the expectations they've built for Nakamura. Because if they don't do a bang-up job of showcasing Nakamura's in-ring ability, I kind of think that Nakamura has like a really solid chance of being dead in the water at that point, because his mic work is somewhat lackluster in comparison to the rest of SmackDown. And that's what they've been leaning on for these last couple of weeks.
For no reason.
But kind of saying like, oh, it's okay, don't worry, he'll get in the ring, it'll be great. So if that doesn't end up being great, then it could lead to something real bad. And I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it is concerning. This really is the time where Nakamura really has to have a fantastic match to really, gain acceptance from the casual fans. Funny enough, I was reading on Squared Circle, a guy took his buddy to a house show and who was not that familiar with wrestling, and then asked him about everything afterwards. And apparently his least favorite match was Dolph Ziggler versus Nakamura on that show. And that's just like a super casual fan who may not maybe understand the intricacies of a match that a hardcore wrestling fan would enjoy. But That's a lot of people at a WWE show. That's not an NXT crowd. Those are the type of people you're going to see at like a Backlash. So this really is, Nakamura really does have to do well here.
I mean, it's up to them. At the end of the day, it's up to Nakamura and Ziggler to knock it out of the park, and I think it's a lot better and more fun to have that challenge rather than, well, of course we're going to knock it out of the park. That, and when Dolph Ziggler gets hit with that knee, he's got to spin around like 8 times. And
he should land
like,
in the crowd.
In the crowd, like cheap seats, man. Go all the way up to the cheap seats. Why not? Get a count out victory. When I get to the United States Championship match, Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles. I guess we got to address the fact that AJ lost to Jinder Mahal on SmackDown, and a lot of people cannot get over that fact. And to that I say, well,
to those people, remember that James Ellsworth holds a pinfall victory over AJ Styles. Those wins aren't exactly sacred.
Yeah, and the story is about Jinder. Jinder is the WWE champion. He's the number 1 contender, not AJ. So the story, as much as we all would like it to be about AJ right now, is not about him. It's about the Maharaja. Kevin Owens. So somebody say something.
Kevin Owens is not the Maharaja.
Yeah, no, he is not. He is not. Yeah, whatever. I mean, AJ loses to Jinder. It's things that happen. It's not like, come on. AJ Styles is a major focus of WWE TV. He's good. You don't have to worry about him losing to whatever. It doesn't matter. They like AJ. He's going to have a good spot moving forward. So don't freak out. So with this match, I'm going to have to go with Kevin Owens winning. They seem really committed to this Face of America thing. I mean, he's got the damn Titantrons. I refuse to believe that they made those just for a couple of months.
They made Y2AJ shirts.
That's true.
Good point.
That is a good counterpoint. But I think we're in this Face of America gimmick for the long haul. So Kevin Owens will win.
Yep, I agree. This is probably going to be match of the night because it's Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles.
And potential main event.
And potential main event, but I am with Ryan where they are going to, I think they're all in on this Face of America thing because it's the perfect role for Kevin Owens because he can just talk all the smack. And even on Talking Smack, he could do it too. But
although we got a little bit too much of like foreign heelness going on with Owens and Jinder doing this. It's a little much.
Points, I was just like, whoa.
The America show.
I feel like I got to start speaking in Spanish again. I mean, it took a break from that, pero mano, está cabrón. So I don't know.
No, you don't, actually. But yeah, like I even though AJ's probably going to lose this match, I think he's fine. AJ was on top for most of last year. I am totally okay with AJ just being the, hey, this guy puts on really good matches role for a little while. He'll be fine. He'll be champ one day.
Oh yeah.
Let's just do AJ things for a while.
I would rather him lose this and eventually make his way back into the WWE title scene as opposed to being US champ. I think we all rather him eventually move away from it.
Not even in the WWE title scene. Like, you know how there's just that he could almost fill a role like John Cena, except actually build people along the way. Like, hey, you are establishing people. You think that you have what it takes to beat me? All right, let's go. Let's see if you have what it takes to hang in the ring with AJ Styles. And then maybe they get a win, maybe they don't. And then like they come out looking better along the way.
Are you implying that proposing to your wife at WrestleMania after you just beat the other tag team in like no time at all, that doesn't build stars?
I mean, just ask Bray Wyatt, Rusev, kind of Kevin Owens. Everybody else.
He did build Daniel Bryan that time.
Entire John Cena, the entire John Cena U.S. Open Challenge. Ask them.
And he did take 2 pins in a row for Bray Wyatt down the line.
That
Unfortunately, there's just no saving Bray Wyatt. Even 2 victories over John Cena doesn't save
Yes, but John Cena was the start of that dark
But
path.
now this is the conversation. This is the real main event. Maybe John Cena you could arguably say he didn't build stars, but Randy Orton here. Randy Orton has a chance to build a star in the Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. I almost said that without laughing.
It still doesn't feel real,
I almost said that without laughing.
Oh, it's amazing.
I want him to win.
Jinder is so unhindered, it makes me smile. And I want to see him do well. And I so badly want to pick the Maharaja to win this match. Like, so badly. I want to see it so freaking bad, but I can't. I can't in good faith predict that Jinder Mahal is going to win this match. It just doesn't seem like it's time. It's way too out of nowhere. Like, you know, this is essentially like the whole hardcore Holly versus Brock Lesnar thing, where some guy comes out of obscurity for a pay-per-view, title match. Although I think they're committed to Jinder for the long haul. I just don't think they're ready to already give him everything this quickly. This is like a big test for him to see how he does in a main event spotlight. But Randy Orton will win.
He's got to get more jacked up.
Going by like opposite momentum, like they have given Jinder all the freaking momentum, which makes me think Randy Orton has to win at Backlash.
I know, this pick is so hard. It's so hard because it seems like it's so obvious that Orton's going to win. It almost makes you think like Jinder has to win then, right? Because this is just a little too obvious, but at the same time, I can't help shaking the feeling that as everything that they've done for Jinder in the last few weeks, it's still just kind of a placeholder for Rusev, because I think that once Rusev comes back, he's going to take that role. So you can't have Rusev versus Jinder Mahal. He probably has to be Randy
unless
Orton.
Rusev's a face, but from the promos he's done, it doesn't look so. But they were tagging together. You get a storyline there if they wanted to go there.
But the whole anti-American thing, Rusev is probably picking that up. And
please, no. We don't need three anti-American
What's going to happen, main event scene, we have main event Jinder Mahal battling Rusev, and that right there that's your main title feud. Drink it in, man.
No. So Randy Orton's probably going to win from that. But God, I want Jinder to win so bad. So badly. Oh my God.
They protect that WWE championship. I don't think they're ready to slap Jinder Mahal's name on that.
Yeah, you got to give it to the Indian Prince, man. That's how you protect it. You give it to the Indian Prince. So
I want to see it just as much as you guys, but I really don't think it's going to happen.
I told one of you, I can't remember which one earlier, to pick with your brain and not your heart.
That is exactly what I was going to say right now.
I need to follow my own advice and pick Randy Orton.
Man, my heart overcame my brain, as it usually does, because I love everything. And I love Jinder becoming champion. I'm going with Jinder. I'm going with the Maharaja.
You know, I hope that we can record this podcast in a week's time. You can look at us and say, I told you so. I really do.
Oh, yeah, I really do. Goodness. Completely okay with it.
If that happens, I'm going to cut a 1 minute promo to start the show. But before there's even a damn theme opening, no, I'm just going to talk about Jinder on the spot. So, gang, that has been it for our WWE Backlash predictions. Remember that this weekend, you're going to get a TakeOver review and you're going to get a Backlash review from the sexy man himself, the man machine, the man beast, Rhino. He's going to be doing a review of WWE Backlash. That's going to be available on youtube.com/ByteThatCast, as well as SoundCloud.com/ByteThatCast. Now, gang, usually we bring up your question. Guess what? We're bringing up your questions. Even though we're going to bring up... You thought I was going to be canceled? No. Fox cancel series. We keep them going. So what's going to happen is that you can send us questions every single week. ByteThatCast@gmail.com. You can let us know where you're from, how long you've been listening to the show. This really... It pumps us up.
The Byte Club makes them, and we take them.
Oh, yeah.
Your questions. You like that? You like that?
You can also send them on Twitter, ByteThatCast, using the hashtag AskBT. Ryan, you don't get to be Keith this week. How does that feel?
It's glorious.
Keith, you get to be Keith this week. How does that feel?
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Two broke girls.
Wait, that got canceled?
I'm pretty sure.
Bunch of series got canceled.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
It does feel bad, man. But you know what doesn't feel bad, man? This first question from Andrew A., who says, Dear Byte That Cast, I am from Washington, D.C. and a huge WWE fan. I've been listening to your podcast every week since November 2015 and follow you guys on Twitter. Well, thank you for
Thank you for the commitment, sir.
I am in love with SmackDown Live and Raw since the draft last summer. However, I'm a bigger fan of SmackDown Live. I like everything that SmackDown Live has been doing with superstars like AJ Styles, John Cena, Jinder Mahal, Becky Lynch, Naomi, Charlotte, and American Alpha. After Backlash, I am going to be looking forward to Money in the Bank and the Money in the Bank ladder match in June. Since Money in the Bank is a SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view, who are the top 3 superstars that are most likely to win the Money in the Bank match this year, and why?
Yeah, so it's really interesting that Money in the Bank is a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. I wonder if that'll change next year as their way of evening things out.
Yeah, because that feels really
But it's
odd.
kind of like SmackDown gets this huge opportunity. It's such an advantage, and Raw just doesn't get it. So, who are the favorites to win? My top 3.
Jinder Mahal.
Maharaja.
We all want to do our own top 3 for this?
I got my top 1. I already know who's going to win. I can give you the spoiler right
so
now.
my top 3, I'll give mine. I will say Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Rusev. Those exactly ones.
That is exactly my list. Damn it.
Whoops.
I'll change somebody. You go, Keith. I'll make a new third guy.
I'm gonna say in order, my top 3 are Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, and Rusev.
My top 3 are Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Mojo Rawley. And Sami Zayn's got to win. I think that his character lends itself perfectly to have it be like he's going to cash in every week. We usually get that with like the Alberto Del Rios, right? Like the bad guy, but it'd be hilarious. Like Sammy can just never cash it in. And with his annoying new character, like the way he is, his personality, it's perfect.
Oh my God. What if he like comes out, like if they keep that character, he comes out like he's going to cash in and then he's like, wait, no, I'm not going to do it. Never mind.
Exactly. Like he talks himself out of it. Like he's about to hand it to the ref.
Oh my God. That could actually be amazing.
On second thought, that's not going to, you know, we got a pay-per-view Sunday. I could do it then. Like he's having that internal conversation, but through a microphone. That'd be entertaining as hell.
But let's be honest. We all see a Money in the Bank briefcase that is black with a wolf on it.
Yeah.
It's going to Baron Corbin.
That or it's going to be a very fabulous looking
or he's going to have briefcase. Connect 4 like painted on the side of it.
You can play it. What if it's like digital, like it's an LED? You can play digital Connect 4 with it. That'd be pretty cool.
That or James Ellsworth is going to win Money in the Bank. It'll be the best thing
Whoa.
ever.
That would be the greatest thing of all time.
Holy crap. I think we got to change one of our top 3 picks.
Yeah. All right. James Ellsworth is going to be Money in the Bank winner. You heard it here first. But Andrew A. has a follow-up question. And he asks, I'm thinking about buying a new video game console this summer. Either a PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch. PlayStation 4 because of games like MLB The Show, WWE 2K, and NHL 17. So very, very sports-related games. Nintendo Switch because of Mario Kart 8 and The Legend of Zelda. Which game system should I invest in? You guys are doing an amazing job with the podcast. Keep up the great work.
Thanks a lot, man. And I own a Switch and I own a PS4, so I will say, if you care about only playing at your home, then definitely get a PS4, just because at this point, there's such a large library of games. You can get, PS2 on PS4, so there's a lot of upscale PS2 games. There's all these HD collections. You can get like the Kingdom Hearts collection, so if you like RPGs and, Disney characters, you got to do a little bit of everything there. But at the same time, with the Switch, if you never got the Wii U, I mean, Ryan can attest to this, like, Breath of the Wild is so damn good, it's almost worth getting the console. Like, my brother bought a Switch today only to literally play Zelda and then trade it in. So I got to get that second Switch at some point or something. But hey, he's got the money. He did it.
Of him.
So
If you want, I'll give it to him more than GameStop will give him for it.
Hey, we can actually have that conversation. So
yeah,
I
seriously.
guarantee you, he literally bought the Wii, beat Twilight Princess, and traded it in. So he's done this before.
I got the Wii, played
He probably
Skyward
got
Sword,
the best Wii experience.
and then never played it, really.
Yeah. So what about you guys?
I don't know. Or you go ahead, Ryan.
Okay. All right. Since I don't own a PS4, so I haven't played a ton of it aside from my roommate's PS4. But basically, I'll put it this way. If you are really into Nintendo games like Mario and Zelda, there's really nothing that can replace that for you. So I would go for the Nintendo system. But if you're looking for just a mix of like any other genre you want, then PS4 is going to be a better system because they're going to support all the all the best third-party games are going to be on PS4. So that's probably the system you want to go to.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Ryan, where if you like Nintendo games, Switch is going to be a pretty good platform for those. And there will be some other stuff, but really the bread and butter of the Switch is most likely going to be the Nintendo core of games, your Marios, your Zeldas.
Which has always been the thing for the past couple of generations, so...
It's always been the thing, and you know what? It's a formula that works. So either you like that or you don't. But if you're looking for a more broad spectrum of games, then the PS4 is absolutely the way to go. There's already a great library of available content on there.
Cheap.
And very cheap, too.
Yeah, and I see, you mentioned MLB, the show, and NHL and 2K17. If those are the games you like to play, PS4 is probably the one you should go with.
Agreed. So thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from the True Prince of Pro, who asks, over the past few months, it seems like the same matches keep happening every week on 205 Live. So I wanted to know, is it time to give up on 205 Live? And is Cedric Alexander what the cruiserweight division needs to break the stagnation and help save the division?
Cedric is great. He's out of action for those who don't know, and he should be returning soon. But a weight limited division is not fun in 2017. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you look at Raw, Finn Balor freaking dived on everybody. It's like, what is the point of the cruiserweight? That they're short and weigh less? How is that supposed to make me appreciate them when you're telling me, hey, these guys are less than the other guys, And then your only example of a guy that's sort of breaking out is Noam Dar, who's the manager almost to Alicia Fox. So it doesn't make sense. And I had the option of watching 205 Live last night, and I didn't. I could, and I chose to play Heroes of the Storm.
I always have that option, and I don't.
So there you go. I think that alone answers it.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on 205 Live. I'll, if something good happens on the show, a bit of scuttlebutt happens around it and people start talking about it, but that has really fallen off, and it's a shame because Cedric Alexander is really good, but realistically 205 Live has everything it needs already, but they're not doing anything with it. The key piece of 205 Live is Neville, and it will continue to be that way for as long as that cruiserweight division exists, whether he's the champion or not. But it's falling flat right now. I don't think it's time to pull the plug. I think that's a little premature, but boy, we're sure barreling towards that point real fast.
Yeah, it's like the cruiserweight division really came back because it's been a fan requested thing for a very long time, but when the cruiserweight division was in its prime, the WWE, the landscape of it was very different, where a lot of the smaller guys were not at the top of the card. Now there's plenty of guys who are doing flippy stuff at the top of the card, so they're not really separating themselves as much as they used to. Don't get me wrong, the cruiserweight division, it has been a nice thing for someone like Neville to really get a lot of TV time and recognition and establish himself again. But like Juan said, the whole weight division class doesn't really make sense. It would have been maybe more ideal if there was just a lower card title, maybe an additional title on Raw. They've shown with Raw that they can handle that additional title. and I think it works. It's just the whole weight division thing doesn't really make sense anymore. And I feel like they can get enough done on Raw that they don't need 205 Live as an additional show. There's plenty of other outlets, but whatever. If it doesn't really cost them that much more to do 205 Live anyway, it's there for people who want to watch it. I mean, they still do main event. And I don't even know who watches that anymore. Although
yeah, but
Aleister
that's
Black
different, though. Like,
Aleister Black was on that recently,
I
which
saw
is pretty
that match
crazy.
with Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Liam V, a patron of the show, who asks, "Hey guys, hope you are doing well." I am, thank you. And that wasn't Liam V's question. "I enjoy most of the programs the WWE are putting out, like Ride Along and Table for Three, but with all these behind-the-scenes TV shows, do you think it's hurting the WWE or actually doing it good? As an example, you watch Dolph Ziggler and The Miz feud on TV, but then watch them get coffee at 1 a.m. as friends. The Clique got punished for breaking kayfabe back in the day, and now the WWE are making shows about it."
Yeah.
We were kind of touching on this earlier.
Yeah. We kind of touched on this earlier, and I'll just add to it saying, I think that all of that hard work and effort that they put onto those shows, they could just put that on the main show. If people care enough about that behind-the-scenes stuff, screw it. Just put it on the main show. Like, develop characters. Like, you can have a kayfabe type of ride-along thing. I'm not saying like an episode-long thing, but if people are interested in things like Total Bellas, Total Divas, and all that, stop giving me so many hours. Like, even this week, man, like, I was just thinking about, what's happening this week, like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, UK, TakeOver, then Backlash, and then right after Raw, and then SmackDown, and then NXT's like, whoa, holy, dude. Like, where do I even watch 24 or the other shows? Some people have the time, but can't you just condense things a little bit? That'd be great,
Yeah, I mean, the positive thing about it is it's there if you want to watch it, but you don't have to. But I do think, seeing things like you mentioned where you see Dolph Ziggler and Miz, getting a coffee together as friends, it does hurt your investment, your, immersion into this fake reality that WWE is, like WWE pretends to be reality, but we've kind of, there's a set of rules that sort of work in this universe, that the rules they get to change all the time whenever they want. But like I said, Brock Lesnar is the prime example. We really buy into Brock Lesnar the person and Brock Lesnar the wrestler as being very similar people. So when you see Brock Lesnar, you're intimidated. Whereas if we see Braun Strowman on an episode of Ride Along, chumming it up and acting like the nicest guy ever, it really takes away from that intimidation factor, and you're going to be less invested in that character. So I do think at least protect the monsters when you're doing this kind of stuff, but it does hurt all characters.
But here's the thing. If you're subscribing to the WWE network, you probably, you're beyond that, where, you're just you want to consume more content than what they're providing on the weekly shows. You're probably in deep enough to know that, this is basically the traveling circus where everybody's friends at the end of the day. And it's all teamwork, because teamwork makes the dream work after all. So if that's something that bothers you, I don't think that's on the WWE. I think that's more of a on you kind of thing, because specialty content like that's what the network is for. The network is there because you want more than the weekly shows. You're looking for other types of content. It's why Raw and SmackDown aren't on the network, in my opinion, because it's that extra
TV.
That and TV, but I think I really do think that that's the convenient answer, because the network is all of the additional content to stuff beyond the weekly shows, and I think it absolutely has a place on to live there.
I would say at the end of the day, do those shows hurt kayfabe? Yes, but are there more pros than cons to doing them? Yes. Yeah. So I think they're still worth doing.
Yeah.
But yes, it does kill kayfabe even more than it's already been killed.
I think the
Like
big issue is when WWE doesn't know the difference. Like I'll go back to like when Sasha, like that was on WWE TV, like on their YouTube channel, right? Like Sasha the Boss, but then she was crying every 2 seconds, and it was just a little weird how she's crying, but then in the very next video they have on their channel, she is like super just the boss. So if you divide that completely, that's fine. But a lot of times WWE, I don't think even knows when that division is not there or it is.
It should be more clear.
And can we all agree to just let kayfabe die? It doesn't exist anymore. That's not the world we live in.
Taker's not a dead man?
We have to talk about some things.
Oh my God. Next you're going to tell me Sister Abigail's actually not real. So is there more questions though?
Of course there are. Much like the next one from TJ Kinder. By the way, thank you for the question. Who asks, Braun Strowman takes the title off of Lesnar. Does this elevate Braun to superstar, or is this impossible to even consider it happening?
Braun takes the title off of Lesnar. Does it elevate him to a super? Of course it elevates him to a superstar. It's just crazy. Like that's a huge win if it happens. I just think it's it's a long shot just because we're all looking at Roman Reigns.
And I'm just going to add saying that I don't think people complain about Jinder Mahal and AJ Styles and like how Jinder beat AJ. A win, a pinfall does not change anything in wrestling. It's the build-up and what happens afterwards. Braun Strowman can beat Brock Lesnar at a Raw. That'd be cool. And in 2 weeks, people will be saying, it was a fluke. What's going to happen next? Bray Wyatt won one match and then he lost 3 in a feud because he won that one match. Does that make him any more powerful or more of a legitimate threat? No. It really is about how long they go about doing that. You look at Undertaker. Undertaker, he can lose 50 matches and he still means more than the entire roster combined. You get that with time. You get that with character investment, with knowing what he's all about, despite the wins and losses.
Yeah, I agree, because at the end of the day, especially on like Raw and Smackdown, those wins and losses don't matter in the big picture. Everybody forgets about those at the end of the day, and everybody remembers the big moments. And if Braun Strowman were to beat Brock Lesnar, and I don't think it will happen, it would definitely elevate him. That would be the big moment for Braun, but it's Roman Reigns. There's only one person that's going to beat Brock Lesnar, so it's anyone but Roman. Anyone but Roman. But thank you for the question. Our next one comes in from Real Cool X, patron of the show, who asks, what do you think would have happened to Triple H if he didn't marry Stephanie McMahon? Would he still be in the WWE? Or do you think he would have retired from wrestling a long time ago? This is an interesting one. It's hard to wrap your head around,
and
really.
The implications of how different WWE could be, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible, obviously, to accurately answer that. But my guess is Triple H is a man who's very driven and very committed to wrestling in WWE. I feel like he would not be in his current position, but I do feel like he would be very committed to WWE. He would just be like an agent or whatever, similar to what a lot of the other former wrestlers are doing. I would still see him as one of those guys that he seems like a lifer no matter what, regardless of what happens. And maybe he'd go on. I don't know if he'd get the wrestle anytime you want schedule that he has now, but I could see him doing a slower schedule at this point in time, doing limited appearances like he basically does, and just being a backstage guy.
John Cena didn't marry anybody from the McMahon family, but he is John Cena. I think that ultimately Triple H cared more about, and I'm not discrediting his wrestling ability, but I think he really cared about the behind-the-scenes stuff. And much like Road Dogg and all these guys have ended up being, road and backstage guys and all that, he would have ended up in probably something similar to a creative role. Like, I think that it's easy to go, well, of course he married Stephanie and this and that, but at some point you got to give the guy credit, you know?
He's still really good.
Yeah, like I know we got some interviews, some shoot interviews talking crap about him, but then we also hear all the superstars, like listen to Talk is Jericho, like all the guys talking about the fact that he takes time out of NXT shows to listen, to really get some feedback. And you don't get that by marrying Stephanie or marrying anybody. You get that by being the guy that you are.
Yeah, I think it might not be like the same like authoritative role behind the scenes, but you would definitely, I think it would be very close to the same role. Like Triple H's like real life image is super protected by the WWE in a lot of ways, but you do hear like little tidbits where he's always been interested in the behind the scenes role, how the entire machine works. So I don't think it would actually be very far off in his current capacity if he didn't end up marrying into the McMahon family. Because like you guys mentioned, he's a lifer. He's probably a lifer since day one. And
day one-ish.
Day one-ish or day one is H, depending on who you ask.
Day one is Triple H.
Oh!
And it's time to play that game of being a lifer. So thank you for the question. Our final question of this show comes from TMK Tanner, who asks, if you could ask one person one question and they had to answer truthfully, who and what would you ask? Who would you ask to and what would you ask?
I don't know. Deep question. This is a deep question.
It's too much pressure, man.
My immediate one, and it would be to Keith. Did you plan on murdering Jeffrey all along? For those who don't know, this is a YouTube thing. Like Keith didn't actually kill anybody. This is from a fictional series. But crap, I broke kayfabe just now. I broke kayfabe. Damn.
See, it's dead. Let it die.
No.
Let it, like Jeffrey, Jeffrey, let it die. Kayfabe
Fight
is
Night
dead.
Kayfabe didn't need to die for this.
But let's see
killed
here.
it.
I don't know. Like there's two sides of it, and I know
You
that
just go, Stephanie. What happened with Macho Man?
Oh my goodness. You went there. You went there.
I had to. Because you know what? Even though it's not the question I probably would end up asking, it's the first one I thought of. That's where my brain went.
I guess as a wrestling fan, yeah.
We got to put it to rest one way or the other.
Let's see.
So
here.
I have two
Go
types
for it.
of answers for this. I would either ask like a bank manager, what's the vault key or what's the code to the vault, and then get
You
super
still have to
rich.
break into the vault.
Yeah, it's true. I would get rich off of that somehow. I don't know what I would do, but I would use that power to get rich. Or I'd like go up to Simon Dean and be like, so pudding.
I'd probably talk to Joe Rogan and ask him if he really hated wrestling as like the more lighthearted question. The real one, and please no references at all. I know it's a sensitive topic. To a precedent, regardless of who the current U.S. president would be at that time, now, then, or forever, what kind of actual decision-making power does the president have? Like, I've always found that fascinating. I think people always talk about the presidents like they decided this and that, and I know there are situations which like tread lightly, but I
Not
would
touching
be
with a 10-foot
fascinated.
pole.
I'd be fascinated by knowing like how much decision-making power do you have as a president? How much are you pressured to making certain decisions? I love to have that talk.
Yeah, well, there is definitely something that happens because, and I'm not talking even just this election, but you just look at the history of at least U.S. presidents. They say all their stuff they're going to do in the campaign, and the second they become president, it's like the script flips. It's like, what are they telling you, man? The second you sit down there, what are they telling you? You get to learn like all the world's secrets. You find out what happens with Roswell and all aliens and black helicopters, Maggle.
You get the shoot
all
interviews.
that stuff. Yep. But also one thing you could ask, you could finally put to rest the Vince Russo Hulk Hogan like walkout storyline. How much of that was a shoot? How much of that is a work? Because that's still like, depending on who you ask, is still not clear.
Bro. Bro.
Let me tell you what we're gonna do, bro. We're gonna do this storyline where there's a work shoot promo, bro. It's gonna be great.
What? Oh, but we gotta end that before we torture the ear holes out of the Byte Club. But yeah, thanks everybody for the awesome questions as always. We now take it over to Mr. McNulty because we got a lot of stuff happening. You know, the giveaway is not enough. We actually have something that's going to be announced very, very shortly as well in relation to episode 200. But till then, Ryan, what do we got happening?
All right, well, we want to remind you guys, hey, if you want to listen to some sweet audiobooks and help out Byte That, you can head to audibletrial.com/Byte That. Signing up helps us out, and you get a free book out of it, so that's pretty sweet. We also want to remind people, WrestleThon
this Friday
is actually going to be, that's this Friday, 48-hour marathon playing some wrestling games for the Child's Play charity. They do some good stuff over there. Go show them some love. We also got a new t-shirt design out. You can go over to whatamaneuver.net. You can look for Byte That, and we now have the BT Ring logo t-shirt out as well.
More coming.
Yes. So other ways you can support Byte That, of course, we have our Patreon. You can head over to patreon.com/Byte That. There's a lot of cool perks, including getting a raw, uncut video version of the podcast for as little as $1. The gold patrons at $5 also get awesome things like early access to videos. Like this week, we have our WrestleMania. Wait, did the WrestleMania trip video? It is now up.
That was last week.
Yes, that's right. That was early. People got to see that before anybody else.
Yeah, it's still early access. It was still early access, just not this week.
That was still an early access feature we had recently, because this Sunday I'm going to be doing the Backlash review.
Backlash?
Backlash? I'm not even good enough to review Backlash? No, actually I am. So, yeah. I some people might not think I am, but that will be up. Looking at you, fake cheerleader Melissa. I know you don't like my reviews, whatever. All right. We're on the road to episode 200. Right? 200.
Yes, that's happening.
Keep it together, Juan. Keep it together.
200.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, we have a giveaway. If you want to win a $25 Amazon gift card, the way to enter, leave a review for us on whether it's the Apple Podcast app or if it's Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you're able to leave a review. So if you listen on YouTube, jump over to one of those platforms to do a review and let us know you did it. If you've already done a review, just send us an email, let us know where you did that review so that we can verify it and you're in for the drawing. And we will announce that winner on episode 200, which is going to be June 21st. So you have up until the day before that, June 20th, until midnight, to leave that review and let us know. So that's going to do it for this week, guys. Look forward to all the wrestling going on, the NXT Takeover, UK stuff. So plenty of stuff going on this week. We'll see you guys soon.